Yes, so there are a few things people should know about green card lottery. If I start from the beginning, for those who do not know, we usually say green card, some people do not know what is that. Green card is permanent residence. And the green card is a nickname for permanent residence in America. Other countries, they call just green card. In the US, they have the nickname called green card because the card itself is green. So that's why they call it green card. So there are different ways to get a green card. One among those ways is through lottery system, which we are going to talk about here. Talking about the lottery, no other country on the planet Earth has a lottery system, randomly selection, like the United States. This makes a bigger difference in immigration between the US and Canada, US and Australia. The biggest part of immigration in the United States is based on family-based and lottery. And a small part, employment. In Canada, the biggest part is a merit, is a professional-based. It's not a family. Yes, family is there, but it's not the bigger part of people to be migrating there. So on the lottery portion of getting green card, there are things people should understand. Is your country eligible to apply? That's number one. If you are in Africa, at the moment, only Nigeria is not eligible country for Africa. And why one country is not eligible, like for Africa, Nigeria, or India, Pakistan, talking about China, talking about Canada, UK, whatever, why is not eligible? Is a simple reason. The purpose of the green card lottery is to open up opportunity for more diversity from the countries with low representation here in America. By representation, we don't mean we don't count international students. We don't count tourists. We are going to count immigrant. But the problem is, we usually say, oh, I'm immigrant. But if you're an international student, you're not immigrant. By law, immigrant is a person who is a permanent resident. Yeah. That's why we have immigrant visa and non-immigrant visa. Immigrant visa is someone to come to immigrate, to stay here on a permanent basis. If you go for any other visa, non-immigrant is a temporary. Whether you are going to study PhD for 4 years, you are still temporary. But if you win a green card lottery, from day one, you are immigrant. So for the countries which have immigrant, meaning they have people being awarded green card, whether by lottery, whether by marriage, whether by family, like the father is sponsoring for the son, or sponsoring for your child, or by work, if you include all green card, whatever ways, if a country has more than 50,000 people given a green card in the past 5 years, that country is eliminated, is removed from the participation of the green card lottery. But it doesn't mean that is forever. The country can be returned back to the lottery system if the number is going down. That's why I made a video that many countries will be returned this year, starting from Nigeria, because last year, because of the pandemic and the immigration suspension, no green card were issued from last year to March this year. So for that particular case, if you go to count 5 years, always there will be a gap of not 50,000 people for many countries. So that's why. So if people are in East Africa, they don't need to worry. But again, your eligibility to participate, we are talking about the countries, is not about the citizenship. You can be a Kenyan, but was born in Nigeria. That means you are not allowed to apply. So the eligibility is the place of birth. So if you are born in Kenya, but you are a citizen of Canada, you are allowed to apply. Even though Canada is not allowed to apply, you are Canadian, but not by birth. Your birth eligibility is Kenya. If you are a refugee, right now we are talking to you, let's say you are born in Congo, but you are originally from Rwanda, or you are born in Kigoma, Tanzania, but you are originally from Burundi as a refugee. When you apply, you don't apply as a Burundian. Yes, your citizenship is Burundian, but the country of chargeability or eligibility is Tanzania, the place of birth. That people should understand that one. Then, There are some people, I want to clarify this more. There are some people, let's say they are born in a country, let's say you're born in Nigeria. Country is not eligible at the moment. But the Nigerian who is born in Nigeria is married to a Kenyan. That person is allowed to apply based on the eligibility of the spouse. So there are almost some exceptions on the eligibility in terms of place of birth. So that's number one. Two, it comes to the issue about work experience and education. During the application for the DV lottery, there is no a component of work experience. There is only education. Usually, this is the law. Whether it is bad thing, whatever. The day you apply, you must have high school education. The day you apply, not a high school student, you have already possessing high school education. Or if you don't have high school education, you must have 2 years of qualifying work experience. Listen the keyword, qualifying. Not just work experience. 2 years of qualifying work experience. So let us start with the education, high school. There are countries, the US Embassy in those countries clearly says, yes, you have high school, but you want to have a minimum C on mathematics and English. One of the example is Zimbabwe. I'm saying that way because I know someone from Zimbabwe had the same situation where was supposed to go there, and the instruction, the letter was indicating you must have a certain score. So when you apply for the DV lottery, you have to indicate primary school, and then there is high school. But high school is divided. You can go to the high school, don't take the exam, don't graduate. So there is what you call high school with diploma, high school without diploma. What does that mean? The problem we get confused as Africans because the diploma is education level in Africa. But in America, as American English, diploma is not a level for study. Diploma is the certificate you have been awarded. You finish primary school, the certificate they give you. You finish Form 4, the certificate they give you. You finish diploma, they finish university. That means you have been awarded degree in political science. You have been awarded finish primary school at maybe whatever whatever you finish. That is diploma. So diploma is certificate in American English. So when they say high school with diploma, means you completed your high school and you have the certificate to prove that you finished the high school. High school with no diploma means you don't have the diploma, you don't have the certificate. Remember, that form has been designed in American context, not in African or Asian context. Because someone can go to the university, for instance, and don't graduate like Bill Gates, and just continue with other life. But in Africa, we consider you were a failure. There is no any other level. What is your level for education? Oh, I just high school. Oh, I'm dropout. No, you have a certain level of education. So if you are still the university student at the moment, they say some college courses. If you are you finish bachelor, is bachelor. If you finish you are studying masters, is masters, you say graduate courses. So there are classification, a lot of confusion over there. But you have to know what is your exact work experience. But even if you don't put the correct one, there is no problem. Why? Because the decision to select a person doesn't base on the education during the selection of random selection. That one will be able to put a correct one when you are filling the DSC 260. By DSC 260 is a immigrant visa form, the visa form for people who are coming to live permanently in America. Those who don't come to live permanently, like students, visitor, any other type of visa, we call DS 160. Those are non-immigrant. Immigrant is 260. So, education. So you have to indicate there is no proof of certificate, there is no anything during the application time. Then there is Even if you don't have high school, your primary school, there is no place to say you have 5 years of work experience. But if you win, you have to put work experience. Why am I insisting these items? Because you might be denied the visa despite of winning for failure to submit or to prove that you have good education or the work experience, qualifying work experience. But when we say qualifying work experience, they want to see you are a mechanic. There is no problem to be a mechanic. What training did you go? Did you go to the special vocational training for 1 year, 2 years? Oh, I'm working in the salon hairdressing. Did you go to school? Remember, in America, I'm saying like everything they're doing is in America. You are not allowed to cut anybody's hair if you have never gone to a special cosmetology, whatever school, and you get the state license to cut someone's hair. So for you, you're just at the barber shop just because the guy has. No, they will ask the question on the DS260. What training? How long was the training? So the training is into 2 ways. Is it on-job training or you went to a special vocational training before starting the job? And most of these jobs, they want at least 2 years of training. So what does that mean? There is a proper way people have to know how to put them when you are going to fill the DS260. If you win, what is the proper way? It's not just, oh, I've won. That's what I tell people. Don't just win today and tomorrow I'm going to submit the DS260. Even if you have high school, is a qualified work education level, still you are at the margin. What if that embassy, they require special score? I have F in mathematics. So will I get or not? So for that particular case, that's why I tell people, find a way to volunteer. Work experience doesn't mean that. The problem of us as Africans, what is your work experience? We see how much money have you made. No. Work experience, is it for free, paid, whatever it is? Did you work somewhere? What is the name of the job? What is the job description? What is the name of your supervisor? Can we call your supervisor? Do you have a proof of the contract? Do you have the proof of the letter of employment? Or, I mean, the recommendation letter from your supervisor or your employer? Even if it's for free. The problem now, people finishing high school, even bachelor degree, their job is to do betting. That is not work experience, betting. Go volunteer. Do something to your community. Get hours. That means it helps you to get guarantee of getting visa. So that is just to make sure that you have those qualifications to apply. There are 3 parts which are very important in that application. Apart from education and eligibility, that one of the nationality or place of birth. There is the issue of passport. Very, very important. They have introduced the passport. Ask yourself why they have introduced the passport. Because people started doing some scams. You go on the DV lottery form, I write Ernest Boniface Makulilo is the applicant number 1. And I'm going to do another application, Boniface Ernest Makulilo, that is the second person. I go put Makulilo Ernest Boniface, like you put like 3 people. Because there was no passport. And then if one of these wins, someone is going to forge the documentation. Because in Africa you can get those kind of things. So because of that kind of things, or sometimes someone can go online and see, oh, care for your name, I can just take your name and apply for you. If you win, there are 2 ways. I can come to you and say, pay me, I applied for you, you have won. Or someone can use your identity and go to America because of that. And the day you're going to apply for the visa, say, oh, you're already in America because all your information someone has used. So because of that, they've introduced the passport. Because even if you know my name, you know my date of birth, you know my place of birth, you don't have my passport number. So that's the reason to protect that. So some people, there is one Ethiopian I know, one Kenyan, one Tanzanian, one from Sierra Leone I know, like for last year, 4 to 5 people, they have won the DV lottery, and when they applied, they didn't put the passport. I'm going to tell you the repercussion of applying doing that way. The instruction number 7 of the DV lottery, which is the new instruction, like this is the 2nd, 3rd year, that means when you apply for the DV lottery, you must have the passport. If you don't have the passport, there is a waiver. You must have one of the three reasons. One, you are coming from a communist-controlled country and you are unable to get the passport. Last time I checked, there is no any country in Africa which is a communist-controlled country. They don't care whether your country has the highest level of COVID. They don't care your country has the highest level of war. They don't care. The point is your country must be a communist-controlled country, which there is no country in Africa of that nature. In Asia, you can say, maybe I'm from China, but China is not eligible to apply. So, for that particular reason, you don't meet that requirement. Requirement number two, you must be either stateless. Who is a stateless person? There are very few people in this world who are stateless. You are born in nowhere. I can give you an example because how is this possible? There is one guy from Angola. They were during the war, they were just moving away in the boat. In the middle of the international water, the child was born. There is no country there. So the person was stateless until he was 18 to take, because they went to French, so they were in France. For all those years, the child was not having citizenship of any country because it was not born in any country on this planet Earth. So if you are saying you are stateless, prove to them you are stateless. Or there are certain countries you can be born and you are not allowed to be given the citizenship of that particular country. And then there are certain situations, like there are very group of people, like in Myanmar or whatever, some of Palestine. So there are certain very few people in this world. Because if you say you are stateless, prove to the consular officer you are stateless. Obviously you are not. You are born in Kenya. You are born in Meru. You are born in Dar es Salaam. You are born in Kampala. You are born in Ansarabe or Antananarivo in Madagascar. You have a place of birth. So you are not stateless. The other reason, you must have a waiver letter, a letter from the Secretary of State and the Secretary of Homeland Security of the United States of America, that they have given you the letter that, oh, go ahead and apply the DVLOTTERY without having passport. So remember, the Secretary of State is the biggest person in the American government. President, if president dies, vice president dies, Speaker of the House, after the Speaker of the House, Secretary of State is there. How can you convince the Secretary of State to write you a letter to give you the waiver that I don't have $50 to apply for the passport in my country? No. So because of those three reasons, if you don't have passport, this is what I tell people: apply for the temporary passport. Temporary passport in Kenya, how much is it? It's less than $10. How many days do you get? Is you get within the same day, very late next day. If you go early in the morning, they give you the same day. If you go in the afternoon, they give you the next day. In Tanzania, it's $15. They give you the next day. 2 to 3 days, they'll give you that one. And there is no much conditions.